Stream is good.
Yeah, I'm following it here on
We're
YouTube.
green. All right, hang on. Wait for it to load.
Mm-hmm.
And we're up. Hello, Jason Rubin.
Hello, Richard Strom.
How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty damn good after what I thought was a spectacular UFC 214.
Holy shit, man. So, all right, where to start? To be completely transparent with everybody that's about to be watching, we already got a comment. Emiliano says, yo. What up, everybody? So, to be completely transparent, I ordered the pay-per-view. I need to go back and watch Cowboy Cerrone against Robbie Lawler. I saw that Robbie won. However, I was watching boxing, and here's the incredibly quick preview. Adrian Broner did not show up for two-thirds of the fight. Mikey Garcia was so technical, so skilled. Broner could not let his hands go left and right. Whenever he attacked and stalked down Mikey Garcia, Jay, when you watch it, when it goes on, I assume HBO.
Showtime.
Showtime on demand. Oh,
tomorrow, right?
Cardinal sin. Yeah. Do you have your parents log in, by the way?
Of course. I just got to call them.
I mean, that's how we all should as millennials.
We have a nice family rotating system. I have Netflix. I have one sister with Hulu. I have another sister with Amazon Prime. Somebody's got HBO. You know, we all have one. Everyone's got one. Everyone gets one.
That's amazing. So, like, I have Netflix, and I don't have HBO or Showtime. But, like, I mooch, not Scaramucci, but, like, I mooch off the parents.
You Tony mooch everybody. Of course Anthony Scaramucci them.
Yeah.
Here's
I mooch my way into the White House of the Strom family.
Right.
Do you have a drink with you?
Currently, no. I
Dude,
drink.
You said that you were going to go get beer yesterday.
Look,
and then
I didn't go out and get it. I didn't go out and get it yesterday, and then I was going to do it today, except I go to Politicon. You make the call saying, you got to get out of there. There's going to be traffic coming back from Pasadena. And true. I sat in a car for 2 hours and 27 minutes.
I told you.
I'm going to miss. Happened? I thought, and I'm lucky, I get in, I order the fight, and we're like 3 seconds into Uzdemir's fight, and that ended 19 seconds later. I hadn't even sat down.
Right.
It's like, oh, at this rate, Jon Jones is going to be fighting at 8 p.m.
Right. And who beat Manua?
That was Uzdemir. He beat him in 22 seconds,
right.
To which my call was like, I thought maybe like Uzdemir, his previous wins weren't necessarily, I know he knocks people out, I get that, but they didn't, I thought Manu was a third-ranked contender.
But you thought he was more of like a Lucian Bute-ish fighter, where like, and I know I'm going way back, but like a fighter who could knock people out, but also wasn't tested enough against the best of the best. Correct?
And he's the third, absolutely, of the third rank. Manu is not a throw-around fighter, and I mean, and that's what started off. And you're going like, man, great start to this card. Then you get Cerrone Lawler, to which. I don't know, man. Like, I gotta rewatch it. I thought Cerrone won, but judges unanimously gave 29-28 to Lawler. I thought Lawler looked tremendous in the first minute of round one, and that was the only time I was convinced of Lawler's, I guess, dominance in that fight. But I gotta rewatch it because now like the other three fights happened, and I can't even think that far back after what happened with Cyborg fighting with people about Woodley.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. Is this the best card of the year? Did it live up to its billing?
Of course it did. Absolutely.
Even with, and we're going to get into this, but even with the snooze fest of Woodley, Demian, Maia, which we agree on was not. But
I looked at this fight. You had a 22-second knockout in the first, if you had for the main card in the first fight. Right. You had Cerrone Lawler in a phone booth brawl for a lot of it, with a lot of fun, different combinations, a lot of different stuff from Cerrone, which you always get for 3 rounds. It was a quick 3 rounds, and it was super fun. You saw Cyborg, who you really did think was going to kill somebody in the octagon heading into the fight, and I guess kudos to the UFC, kudos to Tanya
Evinger.
Evinger, thank you for the pronunciation. Tanya Evinger for seriously taking a whole tornado of like I really didn't think after the first 2 minutes I was like, this is gonna get ugly and violent. It's gonna be barbaric, and I don't even mind that.
But there was like a split second in the first round towards the tail end at like the 3:45 mark, I want to say, where Tanya got Cyborg down for a half second, and you were like, oh shit, like,
you thought like as an underdog, like there's no way. Like there's just no way. Yeah.
It was the same feeling that I had when I watched The Little Giants for the first time. Like they got a yard. Like that's exactly how I felt. Like, oh shit, Tanya got a yard. I thought that it would be just like a slight bit more competitive of getting Cyborg to the ground a few more times, and then her having like Woodley takedown defense and able to get up again and again and again. But I agree with you.
We'll get into that too. And then you had Jon Jones, and we'll get way more into that fight also. That fight for all the 12 total minutes was phenomenal. It really was. And I have a billion takeaways from that fight. But let's start with Jones and Cormier. First of all, anybody in the streams was saying we spoiled it. Sorry, guys. Like that means you weren't on Twitter. It means you weren't on any social media. It also means you don't have any notifications from any sports accounts.
And again, kudos to them for like cutting like everything off in their lives, like not having internet.
Like my question is, did they get a notification saying, "Wow, TYT Sports is live"? There's no way they're spoiling the Jones Cormier. Oh no!
Right. Like congratulations to you for having like a DSL hookup where you log on to AOL and like you hear you got mail.
There's
I don't know how you could stay so disconnected from having updates from like so many other mainstream media outlets that you sign up for push notifications.
Great Twitter account called at Aim Away Messages. They are just like retweets of extremely old AOL Instant Messenger away messages. Like, BRB.
Okay. Did you B2B or BRB.
BRB.
Did you or did you not put up rap quotes as your away message?
I put up the same black quote I have on my Twitter account from Fife Dog. I got the scrawny legs, but I moved just like Lou Brock.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I missed them when they came to Chicago.
The truth of the matter is, like, all the respect in the world to Tribe Called Quest, they're not a good live act. Even if Fife was around, they never really translated live that well. But
I'm sorry, did you go to their live performances when Fife was around?
No, but I've seen every live video you possibly could of them. I'm sure being there is different.
That's horseshit, and you know it. You can't judge a live event off of not being there.
But here's also my reasoning for it. Like a Q-Tip and Fife in a way they wouldn't really do they wouldn't really rap that much. There's a lot of hype.
So like a great example, in the words of Public Enemy, don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. Absolutely. So
okay, yeah, let's get back.
Did the card live up to it? Like I just said, so Usman 22. You get a 22-second KO right out the gate. There's that card's a win.
Right. Right.
So you get that.
I think when I was watching Broner Garcia, they were in like the 8th round, and I looked up. I'm like, oh shit, the card's starting, and I go through like a minute and a half of Garcia Broner, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what the hell just happened? How could this possibly be on a pay-per-view? Okay, so Uzdemir won, Robbie Lawler won. Get back to Tanya and Cyborg, and then we'll work our way up. So kudos in the world to Tanya for taking the fight, and I also liked that on the broadcast, Dominic Cruz and Joe Rogan, in a way, were complimenting Tanya by also dissing Jermaine Durandamy. Because they were saying, like, you know what, at least Tanya showed up. Even if she came to get her ass kicked, she still showed up, and she still went against Cyborg. And it's a way of promoting Tanya and dissing Jermaine, which I think was not only factual but was positive for the sport, because you shouldn't necessarily you should not go after the people that are not taking fights in order to promote the sport in better places.
Correct. I agree with you 110% on this. And the thing with Durandamy, I mean, I don't know how many times somebody's just completely not just ducked a fighter in favor of other fights. She checked her belt in like a late library book. She just gave it and didn't pay any fees. Or she paid the fee of not getting to fight. And that to me is shocking for a fighter. Like, this is your game.
Right.
And it just showed the fear. Here's my fear. Who wants to fight Cyborg? Like, are they gonna have to have?
But at least Tanya came in there and like showed.
That's my point is, do we have 5 fights with Tanya? We found nobody else again. Tanya, you get the call.
But I mean, here's the thing: isn't Cyborg like 33, 35? Like,
I didn't know her last name was Justino until today. Actually, I just knew her as Cyborg.
But I'm pretty sure she's up there in age. So like, look, even though
she's 32.
32. Okay. So even though she is so incredibly powerful, it totally deteriorates my argument of her being older.
Small window.
Yeah, but like
small UFC window.
So Tanya showed up, took a beating, got paid, but also what I thought was interesting to Dominic Cruz's point was that did we see something in Cyborg's game that she went into the third round in order to finish an opponent? I still don't think we learned anything unless she goes against like a female version of Demian Maia who's also just as strong as her, because nobody can take her down and nobody can keep her down on the mat.
Correct.
Tanya Evinger took her down twice, but it was a half takedown because Cyborg was able to get up, again, Woodley-esque, which we'll get into in a moment, because both of their takedown defenses are astoundingly good.
Yes.
They are so crisp and so clean. So
Rudy Montana's comment, I like this. Amanda Nunes needs to step up and fight Cyborg. I think there are fighters. And by the way, Nunes-Shevchenko possibly is on paper, and that never translates, so I'm going to preempt that with that thought. But Shevchenko-Nunes has all of the ingredients to be one of the greatest women's MMA fights ever. It should be extremely fun. And then after that,
ahead of yourself.
I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'm saying is a type like Amanda Nunes, if they can find Cyborg's they created a division for Cyborg.
Correct, the featherweight division.
I think in due time. I mean, I just wonder, is due time too long that Cyborg gets old and women's MMA
I just don't think there's anybody that could touch her. Like
I can't name a person that would even want to fight.
It's the same way that like Vladimir Klitschko ruled the heavyweight division, where you just knew it was the complete opposite form of winning. Like winning in MMA goes in so many different directions, and I guess boxing goes in 2 or 3 different directions. But you knew that Klitschko was going to win. It wasn't a matter of how; it was just a matter of when, because he ruled the heavyweight division for over 10 years. Like it was that dominant. It's the same feeling I have with Cyborg. It's not necessarily how; it's just in what round and when.
Right.
So no one is going to step up to the plate unless someone is offered a humongous payday to go in there and get their ass beat. Because it's an inevitable thing. It's like, no offense, you're not a Jets fan. When the Patriots play the Jets, like, Tom Brady's going to shit all over whoever was there at any given point playing quarterback. Like, it was just a given. So I don't think anybody can really step up unless she gets a little bit older in a few years and the talent gets better, which I don't foresee for many, many years.
I don't see. The thing with the UFC, man, is...
Are you doubting it?
Here's why I'm doubting just part of that. I said the thing with the UFC is, and I hate doing this because I do it way too much. Conor McGregor, as even he put it, and Helwani put it, couldn't afford a pot to piss in, and in a calendar year became one of the most impressive fighters we've ever seen. So I do want to... Yeah, I just want to believe that in a calendar year, there will be new talent. And there might be somebody to come out, but
Jay, it's an seen it before.
I know, but it's
an anomaly.
It's an optimistic. Rob Wise says Jason Rubin is the only man that can take Jon Jones. I will respectively disagree.
How many people at TYT would it take to take down Jon Jones? I'd say all 60. You know what it would be?
I mean,
it would be like Royal Rumble. And, like, we're all in there at one point, and we just get introduced left and right, and, like, everyone has their running game. Like, mine would literally be suck it to Jon Jones and try to get in his head, and then he would just elbow me in my face.
What's the truthful amount of money that it would take for you to step into an octagon for, I mean, none of us are lasting 5 rounds, but for a MMA fight against Jon Jones? What is the actual price?
Oh, what's my rent?
$1,000. Take $1,000. You know what? By the way, you know what it is about MMA that just scares me is I don't mind if I got that kick to the head that Jon Jones sent Daniel Cormier. Fine with that. I'm out cold. It's over. Whew, thank God.
Right, but
it's those effing leg kicks.
Hang on, it's the leg kick, and then and we're skipping over a fight.
Wait, you think my legs aren't giving out worse than Cormier's? I'm dead.
No.
Not even responsive.
Dick, if you let me finish. It's the ground and pound that Jon has. Because if you remember, and again, we're skipping over another fight, but Big John McCarthy, the referee, gave Cormier every chance possible to try and
Absolutely.
come back. And what we saw was the finishing ground and pound technical ability of Jon Jones, just hammering Daniel Cormier. Like, Cormier was so fucked up. And I'm glad that he was able to say a few words. And I agree with Joe Rogan, and we can get into this in a little bit, that fighters should not be interviewed right after they got KO'd. But, like, apparently Cormier didn't know where he was. He said, "Why'd you stop it so early?" Like, that's how fucked up Jon Jones made Daniel Cormier in 2 rounds and change. Now, again, those first 2 rounds I personally gave to DC. You could have scored it either way. I think the first round or the second round, some people were giving to Bones, but I gave it 2 rounds to DC. And then, I mean, the floodgates just opened with Jon Jones and his leg kick. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a second. So, Tyron Woodley, Demian Maia. We were texting about this. People were booing in Anaheim. Love your hat, by the way.
Thank you.
People were booing in Anaheim. They were flashing their phones left and right. They were chanting boring. Was it boring, in your opinion?
Yeah.
It was?
But, yes, it was boring, but put some respect on fucking Tyron Woodley's name. You can have it both ways. You can say he's boring. I fell asleep. He wasn't the headliner. He wasn't the he was a co-main event headliner, sure. But after what happened with Woodley Thompson in 2009, there went Woodley's chance of pretty much carrying a card ever again. So you're never paying to see Woodley fight again. He will be co-main event headliners because he has a championship belt. Demian Maia has the 7th
I'm listening.
most.
I'm unplugging my headphones. My computer's about to die, but I'm listening.
Get your charger. Okay. My point has some Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley. It's how you pronounce his name. Demian Maia. My pronunciation's always a little bit off. My apologies, team. Tyron Woodley. Thank you, Ricky Strom.
He's not like Tyrone Corbin.
No, it's fair. Yeah, I mean, Tyrion Woodley. Tyrion Lannister. I don't know what to tell you at this point. What frustrates me so much is the people who just call it boring but don't want to acknowledge the fact that Maia is one of the greatest takedown artists in the history of MMA.
Yeah, completely.
A champion in jiu-jitsu. 3-time World Cup champion, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Tyron Woodley came in and absolutely made a complete fool at somebody who's a master at this.
Right.
Fool of him.
Right.
He made him look stupid. And you want to sit there and go, it's boring? Sure. You still have to respect the fact that he's the goddamn champion for a calendar year
But people
straight.
don't have to. Like, that's what I don't sympathize with them. I just understand their argument. That even though he is the champion, they don't like it. They don't think it's as aesthetically pleasing as they have their standards up to. Like,
it's not aesthetically pleasing.
I agree with everything.
It's fascinating.
What is?
His ability to prep for every different type of fighter thrown his way.
Okay, here's a question to you, and this is a question to everybody watching in the live stream as well. For those who watch college football, do you hate SEC football? Because if you hate SEC football, which are defensive battles, then you absolutely hated that last fight, because all it was a defensive battle. Me personally, I'm not saying I'm more well-rounded. I'm just saying I appreciate the art that goes into every single fight. We talked about this yesterday. Yes. We talked about this yesterday. Like, I appreciate the art of being able to have great takedown defense and then unloading with a shot. There weren't a lot of shots. Demian Maia was hurt maybe from 1 shot, and I still thought that his left eye swelling was when he rubbed up against the cage, but like,
no.
I could be wrong.
I think he ran into the cage.
He was just like, oh, fuck. And like, the broadcast apparently didn't see it. Like, that's fine. That's cool. But like, my point is, you can't root for your team to have great defense if you didn't appreciate the art of what went into taking someone out of their own game. And again, yesterday I related this to Floyd Mayweather in boxing, where even though he's so defensive, he finds a way to mentally have you check out of your own game. Not that Demian Maia did that. Not that Tyron Woodley had Demian Maia check out of his own game. But you could tell by the third round he was incredibly frustrated because he saw the upper and also correlation with the lower body strength that he could not take down Tyron Woodley. It was a great defensive performance from Woodley, and he didn't get hurt, which only lengthens his entire career.
Look, I agree with you, as I agree with most of your points. It's not his job to entertain. Sure, he's going to not make as much money as a lot of other fighters and a lot of other champions in the UFC. That's fine. I don't have a problem with this. These are called managing expectations. When, except for like a short period in the middle of his career where he highlighted his profound ability to strike devastatingly, maybe over 2 or 3 fights, his body of work is I'm going to out prep you. I'm going to train for me not to lose. And I'm going to keep my belt after I win my belt. Lawler got roughed up against him, and then people kind of thought maybe we have a new exciting champion. And now he's going to do what he has to do to keep his belt to win. I respect that.
I want to read something to you that I saw from Ariel Helwani on Twitter. So I thought that the winner of that fight would have got GSP, right? And
I did too.
There was an interesting quote that he had that I retweeted, so I'm trying to find it right here. Fuck, I tweeted a lot.
I saw that.
Damn. Okay. He said, Ariel Helwani tweeted, just asked at GSP what he thought of that fight. Here's response, quote, I want Bisping and Bisping wants me. So now if you're Dana White and you have Tyron Woodley, because I thought the winner was going to potentially get GSP, but what have you, and now GSP is saying that he wants Bisping, even though we thought the fight was going to happen at Madison Square Garden, and then it didn't for whatever fucking reason. Like, what do you want to see as a UFC fan?
Bisping, GSP.
Why?
They're both. Bisping's if you want an entertainer, Bisping's pretty damn entertaining. Also, it's a better age matchup.
Is that the perfect opponent for GSP to come back to?
Perfect in what sense? As in for a fight? GSP's been retired for 27 years.
Perfect as in an aged opponent who's coming off an injury who he could beat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's a better opponent. I think I'm trying to. I got to look at the. Hold on. Because first of all, the welterweight division in the UFC has some names, and look, people they're going to continuously boo Woodley forever and always. Guess what? They booed Daniel Cormier too. Like they booed Daniel Cormier for fight after fight after fight.
Right, and they booed him against Anderson Silva when it wasn't his fault. It was Jon Jones's fault.
It was Jon Jones's fault.
It was Jon Jones's fault for not showing up, and Anderson Silva was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll take it. I'll get paid."
Actually, are they going to give Lawler a shot at Woodley?
I think you have to, right?
Right. So I mean, Thompson doesn't get one
right now.
Champion Woodley, Maia is going to drop from 1, but 1. Thompson 2, 3 Lawler, 4 Masvidal, 5 Condit.
I think okay, all right. Well, Condit's done. So I think I would.
Cerrone 6.
Right.
As my point was, put Cerrone and Lawler on every single card from here on out, and everyone.
I'm fine with that. But
we're all happy.
But the question, man, that's fucking tricky. So do you then jump Wonder Boy with Lawler in order to create Woodley Lawler 2? I think I would rather see that while Robbie's in his prime.
Me too.
I also don't. Yeah, Woodley with him. Like, here's the other thing, and it was set up perfectly for UFC 214 for him to be on the undercard to Woodley. Well, I mean, they were all on the undercard to Bones and Cormier, but to have Robbie Lawler, Donald Cerrone going before the champion still, Tyron Woodley and Demian Maia, I think it was set up perfectly for that to happen. It's just a matter of inking the deal. So I think it'll happen. Okay, main event.
There's some other. Yeah, I was gonna say in terms of the main event and just the other fights in the pipeline. Jones is 30 years old. He has 11. Him and Demetrius Johnson tied, second place, all-time title fight wins.
Did you see who was first?
It's oh my God, why am I blanking? He's got 12, and I'm an idiot. It's not Silva.
No.
Silva's got 10. He had also like 10.
We just talked about it.
Why am I? It's a GSP. What am I
Yes,
talking
correct.
about? Of course, it's just
Correct.
been a while. Georges St. Pierre.
For you
But
to answer
I
the
mean,
question, or for him to come back to the ring? The octagon.
for both.
All right.
It just took me a while to remember. Yeah, Jon Jones versus Demetrius Johnson. Hell of a fight. Knowing Dana White, he'd be like, "Yeah, we'll put it on FS1." Because again, we want to talk about putting respect on somebody who does entertain. Demetrius Johnson flies around like a goddamn drone on with Fast and the Furious 1 nitrous oxide attached to him, and they put him.
Did they have drones in Fast and the Furious 1?
No, but I'm saying if you took a drone in today's day and age, because he always does like his spinning back foot kicks and stuff like that, like to celebrate, which is awesome. But Jones Cormier.
Jones Cormier.
You're a bit shook.
I am.
And this is what we talked about coming into the fight. Yesterday we do our stream, and I thought Jones would actually decimate Cormier. Now I don't think Jones did decimate Cormier until that kick landed. I didn't think it was going to necessarily go the distance. I did think that kind of fitness of Jon Jones, 30 years old in his athletic prime. There's a reason that Jon Jones, even when he hadn't had one fight before this in the last 965 days, sits number 1 on the pound for pound rankings. And the only other argument was it could probably be
heavyweight rankings.
No, pound for pound. Even when he wasn't fighting, he still held a pound for pound one
argument. Do you disagree with that?
No, I thought because what just happened. I disagree with that.
I thought I was sensing animosity with that.
No, I wasn't. My point being is Jon Jones is a special MMA spectacle, and when first of all, I thought Jones won round 1. Based just off the significant strikes. It was very close. I thought Daniel Cormier definitely won round 2. I thought it was a close 19-19 going into the 3rd round. And then before that kick lands, I think this is going the distance, but same scenario. Rounds 4 and 5, Jones is going to catch him more. Jones, here's an interesting stat that I was reading after the fight.
Please.
Jones outlanded significant strikes in Cormier Jones 1, 92-58 over 5 rounds. Okay. Jones outlanded in significant strikes in 2 and change, the same exact amount of significant strikes, 92-50. It was like 92, 95 to 56, really close in that ballpark. Okay. Jones kept throwing. What Cormier, I thought, did excellently to a T, octagon control. It was his pace. It was his fight. Yes, he was dictating it. He had some great inside the clinch. He was able to get a ton off. And right off the bat, he set the tone beautifully by knocking Jones's mouthpiece right out of his mouth on a beautiful, beautiful shot to the chin.
Yeah, there were a lot of overhand rights that landed for him.
Other highlights for DC in that fight was a nice exchange where Jones missed 3 straight, and you can see DC had the confidence. He had it in him.
Shit-talking Jon Jones, too.
He was. And Jones, for a second, we go like, wait, what if Jones gets emotional? What if Jon Jones gets frustrated? Would he be able to pull something out? And he landed a freakish knee. It was the knee of his leg that just right to the head. And then that point he was wobbled. And then 6 punches to the head. Call the fight, sir. I mean, he was out cold.
I understand it. It's the main event. It's sort of
you want to give him a shot, but
of course you want to give him a shot.
It always feels like one too many.
It's easy to say in retrospect because we're watching, but if you're a referee of that fight, it's sort of like in the finals if Kobe does something that he shouldn't do, right? And you don't want to call it technical, so you call a personal foul.
That's fair.
It's sort of like just giving them leeway because it's the fight that everyone's wanted to see. Again, we talked about this on Friday. They've set this fight up 5 times. They fought 1 fucking time. It's absurd to me. So now it's 6 and 2. But nonetheless, I understand why the fight wasn't called in the allotted time that probably a lot of people wanted it to, because Cormier was taking a beating. My own personal feeling was I thought. And I told you this yesterday, I thought that this was going to be eerily similar to the first fight, where Cormier wins the first 2 and then Jones wins the final 3. And my own line of thinking, I thought that is exactly what was going to happen. Okay, so before I get into my full analysis, body language-wise, just leading up to the fight, were you at all concerned of what Jon Jones was doing? Just like he was like Manny Pacquiao, like going to the ring. Like
I loved his song choice.
What was
Champ is here, Jade Kiss, Champ is here.
Yeah.
Good,
great movie, by the way. Ali,
Wait, what was
Will Smith?
Okay, have seen it very long ago. I couldn't remember a single scene. I probably have to rewatch it.
Okay, it was fucking awesome. Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox, the baseball
Jimmy Fox.
player. Jamie Foxx was awesome in that movie.
And then, what did Cormier come out to? Oh, the Ballers theme. It's not just the Ballers. Lil Wayne and I forget the name.
Ballers theme?
It's just I remember. Here's the thing. I watch so much HBO that like they always play like the previews for it, and it's always on. It's Lil Wayne, but like.
Okay, I saw the first season.
It's not a good.
Watch 2
No,
and
it's
3?
not a good show.
Okay.
Also,
it's like the entourage of football.
But it's not. It doesn't have the same. Doesn't have like. There's no
Ari.
It has the girls.
It has
but there's
the cars.
The Rock is a fun dude. Don't get me wrong. But
oh boy.
But there's no Ari Gold factor, and to me, that's what kind of made Entourage.
Wait, what about the agent, the other agent? The guy
Rob
who's the
he's
the sex offender in Curb.
Sex offender in Curb. Is that Rob Corddry?
Yes.
What episode of Curb is it? Yeah, it's Rob Corddry.
It's the only one, Jason.
Okay.
The only one where he's a sex offender.
There's only one episode where he's a sex offender? The only one.
Wait, the sex offender one?
I can't wait till season 8 or 9 comes out and there's another sex offender episode. I was just watching the Curb episode. It's actually like the first season, it's like the 3rd episode, where Larry doesn't go down to help the guy pick up his golf ball at the driving range. And he meets him on the road like later that day going to the same party. And he says, I was swinging a golf club, so I can go like this. But my back doesn't allow me to do this. Just
favorite Curb episode.
Favorite Curb episode has to be the entire season with Leon and just the whole interaction.
Was that season 6?
With one of my favorite lines ever is he picks up Leon and he goes, "Your last name is Black? It's like my last name being Jew."
Like
Larry
Jew.
The episode where he puts like
the best part, by the way, real quick. The best part is Cheryl. Cheryl's like, the car's this way.
Right. My favorite episode is the episode where he picks up the hooker to use the carpool.
It's my favorite one. Mr. Baseball.
Just genius.
Oh, Monita, $200.
That's more than the HOV ticket.
By the way, spoiler. The best part is also at the end, where Funkhauser gets caught with the marijuana in his jacket, right? And so, like, they get arrested for marijuana, and he's like probably doubling down. He's like, "I'll give you $400 if you go into the courtroom with me." And they're like, "Hang on," they're like arm in arm, and they're like, "Well, my father has this condition," and they look at each other and they're like. True story. Daniela asked me, real quick. Daniela asked me, like, why is weed good for glaucoma? A few days ago, and I was like, I don't want to go into the scientific part, but it just is. Like, it just is a thing that you do, and it improves your eyesight, and it's just like the most amazing thing. I thought you'd find this funnier. Never mind. Okay, so
I do. First of all, I do like the idea that like you just asked me, and I would have given you the same answer. I would have said, "It just is."
Right. It just is. Right. Like why do you follow the North Star? Like you just do.
You just do because it's north.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah, you know where you're going that way. Okay. Jones Cormier. The body language was interesting.
I have a question for you going into. Well, I was curious. What do you think of let's start with this. Joe Rogan, who I admire. I like Joe Rogan. I like all of his content. Who has said time and time again, I don't like interviewing fighters. But sometimes there's an exception to every rule.
Right.
And just given, like, I can't lie, I wanted to hear from Cormier. Especially after it seemed very anti-Cormier to not even stand there I know how hard that is to watch Jones get the belt back. But Cormier was the class act guy, the model, the role model to being, as even Jones said it himself, a role model as a father, a role model as a fighter, a role model as like a general, all those things. Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so shocking, but then you kind of saw like,
quick, would he have been as classy in defeat? No.
Who?
I said, Bones.
Jones?
Yeah.
No, hell no. But
Okay. Hypothetically, he loses the third fight. Would he have been as classy? I still say no.
I still say no. No, I think Jones is the only degree of good that came from him in that speech, and I believe him. I don't give Jones sympathy for the mistakes he's made, but it was a nice speech. It was a nice thing. He didn't have to. He doesn't like him. He didn't have to do it. He could have rubbed salt right in that wound. Mm-hmm. But he did the right thing. Now, people are saying Jones is a changed man. I'll believe that when he steps into the octagon with either Lesnar or Gustafsson, like, because they might try to make the Lesnar fights 5 times. Because now you have 2 guys. One can't stay clean and is a Viking. The other guy, you don't know if he can stay clean.
That is your fucking go-to. Why is that your go-to?
He has an effing sword. Like,
what does that have to do with being a Viking? Like, shouldn't it be a battleship?
I don't think it's a tattoo. I think Lesnar is such a strong person that it's a magic mark. Got it branded onto his body when he was like a kid, and it stretched with him as he got older and wider.
The weirdest thing is like
he's shaped like a guitar pick. You ever realize that? Like,
no.
He's shaped like a guitar pick.
I haven't, but
or a stack of like 70. Like if it's the world's biggest guitar, you just got to get 1/2 of Brock Lesnar. Right. You can play a symphony.
Right. I think it's interesting how Brock has the knife, right? He has the sword that goes all the way down, and Conor has the back tattoo, and yet both of those respectively fit the other. Mm-hmm. Like I can't picture them without.
What is Conor on the back? What's it? He's got the what does he have in his chest? He's got the.
Dude, his chest looks like a kid, like finger painted his entire chest with like all these different colors.
Yes.
And yet the kid is like a prodigy. That's what it looks like. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like half fire, half devil, half like come at me, bro.
Ape. It is. It's some. And it, like I used to think it was a dragon. Brock's tattoo looks like a penis, according to our comments.
Oh, we should read some comments.
Well, I would say fact is he is a Viking and he doesn't have a neck. I like that. The NFL sucks balls. I disagree. I like the NFL. We'll see you in the Europa League. I don't know what. Oh, there's an Arsenal Benfica. Come on, you boys in green. Dude, Jones barely won round 1. Jones is too gifted. Even though he is not really in good shape, I don't know about that. Jones looks like Jones did when Jones got into the octagon and he did like, a jump, I swear he cleared the top of the fence. Man, I gotta say though, I do feel for Daniel Cormier, because you just saw, like, what else do you say to this guy? He prepped for this fight as perfectly as you could. He adjusted.
And executed as perfectly as you could in the first 2 rounds.
He was confident. He controlled the pace. Octagon control, by the way, on a scorecard is one of the things that they made uber important over the last few years. And he was doing that. And also not allowing Jon Jones's reach to get the better of him for those 2 rounds and change. And you just keep going like, man, I think DC can do this. I think he can do this. I think, oh no.
What I saw from DC was, in boxing, how a technical boxer will use the jab to open everything up, except the jab was an inside leg kick, and he kept throwing those kicks over and over and over, and I felt like Bones was half rust, half just waiting for his shot.
Yep.
But it seemed like those kicks kept opening up everything, and the striking that DC had was super technical.
Yes, it was.
The overhand rights were big. Left hooks were big. But it was all set up through these leg kicks that Bones necessarily couldn't time. I thought that DC looked not skinnier, but more fit than the last fight. Because I mean, look, I mean this with no ill harm at all. But he looked a little bigger. He looked a little bigger in mainly his gut in the last fight. This fight, he looked thick but with muscle.
He looked like he had some abs.
He looked like he had some abs.
Yeah,
The trainer said, his corner said that he showed up with abs ever since they started dieting. But nonetheless, the kicks were important. But his striking looked really, really good, and I thought Bones was having a hard time. But then I heard, as well as you did in the post-fight interview, that they were just waiting for their one shot, which was Cormier has a tendency to duck his head to his right, our left. And it happened. Yep. And they predicted it perfectly. And this is many years ago, like when TYT was at some network called Current. And flashback. And
Jon Jones fought Cormier around that time.
Yeah, seriously. I interviewed Greg Jackson, who is Jon Jones's trainer. And
nice.
He has always been super cool with the media. He was super cool with us. And sort of to your point about Tyron Woodley being a student of the game and training, but also studying, this is something that they picked up on. And they had their one shot, and they took it. If Jones didn't land that one shot, it would have been interesting how this fight went.
Yep.
I still think it would have been similar to the first fight that we saw with these two, but it would have been really, really interesting to see how DC would have done in the 4th and 5th round.
I agree with you 100%, because I almost want to go back and be like, all right, just don't throw the kick. Let's just see what happens, just for fun.
Right.
But we're never getting that again. I do think that if DC won, it would have set up a good trilogy fight. There's too much money. And I don't know what DC does now. I do think Dominic Cruz made it seem like he's not done. There's more to DC's career, but he's 38. I think he's
what's left? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I think he's got a good on-camera persona. He's got AKA, correct? He's with AKA. Khabib, and all of them tend to get injured.
Right,
I don't know why.
The point about okay, have we seen the best DC? Yeah, probably, and it's
nothing
to be ashamed of.
That probably was the best.
Heavyweight, okay, great. It could be interesting, and maybe he could reclaim himself as one of the best. He already is, but as one of the best in a different division, cool. I don't necessarily want to see it. I don't know how many guys can come back from something like this when they're already up in age. I think he's 37 years old.
38.
You just 38, and you just took a fucking beating, and it came out of nowhere.
I know. And you don't want to get back.
I don't want to see it.
So you don't want to dance 5 rounds again to know that just can come out, and he's going to exploit your mistake.
But against guys that are 260, 265, I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it.
No, I don't either. I want to see him. I want to see him leading panels on Fox Sports 1. I do.
I think that.
He's a fun guy. I think he's got a great personality.
Hey.
This is.
Why did everyone want to hang out with the mushroom?
Because he's a fun guy. Fungi. Why are there no Sour Patch adults, Rick?
Why?
Because we eat all the Sour Patch Kids.
Technically, that makes no sense.
Why don't seagulls fly over the bay, Rick? Because then they'd be called bagels. Could do this for days. That's actually all I got. That's all I got.
What do you call a fish with one eye?
I don't know what that
Correct. Correct. What do you call a large computer?
I don't know.
I don't know if I should say
it. Now you gotta say it.
I don't think I should. Adele. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. My joke could be worse. I could try to be funny like Bill Maher dropping the N-word. Okay? It was a joke. Bill Maher doing that is the worst, one of the worst and most awkward moments of live television that I think I've ever seen.
It was one of the worst moments. I remember getting a text, I think from my dad, where he spelt out the word in text form, and I was like, "This looks wrong." I was like, "Turn on Bill Maher. He just called somebody a house N-word," and I go like, "Hold on, Daddy, do you have glaucoma? Are you smoking weed? Like, what are you
No,
watching?
he'd be smoking weed if he had glaucoma.
If he had
Do you think
glaucoma,
your parents
because
like our parents aren't going to watch us? Do you think your parents have ever smoked pot?
oh, I have this conversation with my dad all the time.
No
Open
shit.
conversation.
Oh, how's
My
it
dad,
go?
so it's pretty funny. My dad won't smoke weed now, although
That you
I've
know of.
offered multiple times. My dad's school of thought with this was he smoked a lot of weed in high school and in college. He also told me he tried it like not that he advocates for it, but every drug under the sun. And there was a time and a place for all that, and 70s parents and all that shit.
Okay.
But so his school of thought split parents. So my mom was way more of the, like hard line, no to everything. Weed's gonna ruin your life. Like
Same with
can't.
mine.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But my dad was somebody who said, you can sit in the basement with your friends on the weekend, smoke as much as you want. You're giving me your keys. You're not going anywhere, because at least if I know. His whole thing was if you do it downstairs.
Rubin.
Well, his whole thing was if you do it downstairs under my roof, you're not going to do anything dumb. You're not going to get behind a car. You can't get arrested, because it's still at that time and still now. Like if you get caught with like 0.01 grams of weed, you go to jail. It's a total waste of money for everybody.
But if Jeff Sessions were involved, like you'd get the death penalty.
I get the death penalty.
Yeah.
They'd actually reinstate it in New Jersey, just for that. So his whole thing was like, sure. He's like, you can have a few beers. I don't care. Like, just you're giving. Like, we had to literally hand him. We had to hand him the keys, and if we wanted to do anything, we had to like walk to like the 7-Eleven. Like, nobody in
7-Eleven.
no living creature enjoyed it more than the dog I grew up with, which was a yellow lab, because he loved attention. Bevo, named after
BEVO.
BEVO, and actually named after the Texas Longhorns mascot. Dad always thought it was a cool name, so we named him Bevo.
Gotcha.
And dog loved attention more than any other dog in the world. And get a couple guys high, that dog got attention. Like, what is it like in the episode with Stewie? I think he gets high and he goes, Brian, your ears are like dog ears. Your nose is like a dog nose. That's pretty much
I
us.
think you're right.
It's pretty much us. There's that episode.
That was really good.
It's also the episode where Stewie gets Adderall, and that's one of my favorites, because he's sitting there and he goes like this. He goes, I think it's time for one of those opened eyes naps. He just melts into the couch.
By the way, people who sleep with their eyes open, don't trust them.
Never. Are
Like
you
they
kidding?
will
Never.
totally sleepwalk and probably stab many people in their sleep.
I feel like you could also, you could say the same thing. If you see a picture of a girl, you can go, that's a crazy person. If like they have the crazy
What?
eyes.
If you see a picture of a girl
With the crazy eyes, like they're staring into your soul.
like,
if you
like
see
crazy eyes kill it.
Yes, and you go, stay away. She'll ruin your life. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, I guess I understand what you're talking
And Brian takes Adderall too. There's one where Stewie calls Brian's dick a lipstick.
about. But that's not that original. Like dog boners are lipstick.
Peter says it to Brian. He is a like dog.
Marcus just corrected you.
Thank you, Marcus.
There's an interesting comment here. Random username, and he capitalized US, so I think he's a Trump voter. I'm just kidding. He said, tickets aren't selling that hot for Mayweather McGregor, which is really interesting. I think I saw Darren Ravel's tweet that there are. I don't want to say the number because I'm not 100% sure.
Give me a ballpark. 2,000 empty seats.
No, I think it was a little less, but I think it was well over 1,300.
So I'd have to. Wow. Okay.
So the main question is why do you believe that there are so many open seats? It's at the MGM, right, or is that T-Mobile?
No, it's at T-Mobile.
It's at T-Mobile. Okay, a little bigger. So why?
Well, okay. For one, what are the ticket prices? Like the common man can't afford this.
Let me look it up on StubHub.
I would never pay $700 for this fight to be there. I wouldn't pay. I mean, I'd scrape for certain concerts. I cringe if I have to spend $100 on a ticket, and if it's not like a festival. Like, how much is Coachella for the weekend?
300,
400. $3.99 for a full weekend of music, fun, activities, and everything. That doesn't get you into the building at McGregor Mayweather.
The funny thing is how you just said that in your monotone voice. It sounded like the least fun thing I could ever do. All right, so 3 days of getting fucked up.
Actually, by the way, somebody props to Rick for doing this at 1 a.m. where he is. Props to Rick for doing this at 1 a.m. where he is.
1:16.
1:16 a.m.
Bitches. All right.
Bitches.
All right. Stop.
Game. Blouses.
Come on.
Shout out to Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown. I agree.
Okay.
Why do people
Dude,
I love it on the stream they go
real quick. StubHub. I wish I could take a screenshot and then put it in the comments, but I don't think that's possible. But nonetheless, dude, upper deck seats, the minimum price. Let me make sure I have this correctly.
God.
Minimum price is $1,898.
Parking pass is only $30.
How is this possible? How is that possible? That makes no sense.
I think it's going to fluctuate a little bit. Hey, man, when I booked the hotel for that weekend, because it's also the Big 3 League final, the day the fight got announced, I go shit, I got to get on the hotel immediately. It was still $557 a night. Immediately after.
Say that one more time.
Hotels are they're not nearly as bad as airlines, but they have a similar mentality. They don't sell all their tickets up front, or their rooms up front. Okay. So what happens is, Dana White announces Mayweather and McGregor, August 26th. Mm-hmm. Within an hour, people flood to, hotels.com, Priceline, and stuff like that, because they can get a deal through one of those companies, to put like your deposit down for the room. But what happens is, let's take the MGM for example. If I'm correct, the MGM Grand has the most rooms of any hotel on the Strip, and it is massive. Anybody who's been to Vegas, I'm sure you have too, Rick. Okay, the MGM.
I've been, massive. But I haven't stayed at the MGM.
It's massive. Caesars is actually more space, actually more square footage, but there's more nicer, bigger rooms. Therefore, the MGM capitalizes on more smaller rooms in addition to like Floyd Mayweather's penthouse.
Where is this like analysis going?
My point being is a fight gets announced of that caliber, and they say like, okay, we're going to open up, just to make life easy, 100 rooms, even though we have 200 rooms, and they bleed out 10 rooms and 10 rooms and 10 rooms for more and more money. Just how Vegas works is people are going to come and fly in no matter what. Some people are just going to buy a ticket, spur of the moment, or try to scalp. There are people who spend $2,000 cash to get into an arena. If they have Vegas Vacation, if they have the FU money, I put in a quarter, I want a car. Put in a quarter, I want another car. Put in a quarter, I want another car.
By the way, the most not real thing from that movie. There's two things: putting in a quarter and winning a car 4 times in a row. Secondly, having someone give you their, hey, I'm doing stuff card that they have like over their body, and then being like, hey, so turn it this way,
right?
And you're Papa Giorgio now. Like, you know how many Papa Giorgios there probably were?
1,000
in Las
Papa
Vegas
Giorgios
because of that fucking guy.
Greatest casino in the world is the one where he's like going to like the offbeat casino, and he's like, what game is this? He goes, I'm thinking of a number. 5, 6. That'll be $20. Rock, paper, scissors is a game.
Rock, paper, scissors is a game.
There's also the buffet where he goes, is the blue stuff chicken? He goes, oh, wait, no. That's the yellow stuff. The blue stuff is meat. Like, oh, God. Dumps the snakes out. He goes, here's the babysitters.
It's disgusting.
Great. So my point being with this fight is I'm going to actually take a different analogy, because recently I was listening to Joe Rogan and Judd Apatow, that podcast.
Oh,
and they were going back and forth and talking about how, like, Judd Apatow is a little more neurotic than Joe Rogan. He says, like, do you check your ticket sales before, like, you go to, like, any, like, a venue? And Joe Rogan goes, no, I really don't give a crap. Like, never cared, never check it, don't even know. Sometimes I go in, it's sold out, sometimes not, don't care. And Judd Apatow's like, okay, the day tickets go on sale, I pretty much put Lifeline on my phone to know every single, like, ticket that gets sold.
Right, that's neurotic. But
he says like 3-4 days before it sells out. Sometimes I go in a week before. I'm like, oh my God, there's 500 empty seats over these 3 days. like, I'm going to be playing for an empty room, and it always sells out. I do think come time for the fight, I'd be surprised if it didn't sell out. I just would. I know the tickets are insane.
You'd be surprised if McGregor Mayweather did not sell out.
I would, because I think that StubHub number, if people aren't buying, they have to drop the prices. They have to. They're not going to sit on their. They're not going to sit on their maybe. What's the face value of the ticket? Do you know?
No, I don't.
If the face value of the ticket was like face value of Mayweather and McGregor,
$675, $875.
Wait, that was the face value
for like the worst seat in the building, maybe. Like where
they
are you
scaled
talking?
up to 10. Okay, McGregor face value for the cheapest ticket was $500. So if that means that the price has to drop to $600 to sell it, then it will. And if it drops, some people aren't going to the fight; they buy tickets to sell them. This is
just me personally, but I would rather, again, crazy. I would rather sit at home, drink as much as I can for the cheapest price possible, and not paying $20 for a beer and like $25 for an individual pizza, and just get whatever the fuck I want, sit at home, have the best view, and then jump on YouTube or Facebook Live right after and discuss it with all of you in the comments, and also Jason. Like, I'd much rather, and it's totally lame, but I would much rather do that if I had to pay more. I think my limit, the most I've ever spent on a ticket, I think is $225, and like that's fair. That's my limit. Like, it was when the Cubs played the Cardinals, and it was an elimination game for them to go to the National League Championship Series 2 years ago. And
that's worth everything. Yeah,
it was awesome. By the way, it was awesome.
So yesterday on the live stream, you told me I had $2 million, which is like 7 figures more than I have. Great World Star Hip Hop meme was make enough money so that your bank account looks like a phone number. Right, so like 201 whatever it is 555 5555, and like in the actual meme is like it's $9.11.
Right.
911.
Why does every movie do that? 555 5555. Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. I'd say most of the time I'd like to have a few friends over, get a couple of drinks, be able to talk about it after, comfort of your own home.
Okay.
In the case of like
real quick, allow me to interject. This is crazy. I don't like watching with anybody. I like watching by myself so I can process everything on my own.
If it's my team, if it's the Knicks, the Mets, the Giants, I don't want to see anybody, even within a 2-mile radius. Like, great example of this, Super Bowl when I was a sophomore, so Giants versus Patriots the second time around. I'm in, as I mentioned, Rhode Island. I am in Patriots territory. Everybody around me is a Patriots fan. I actually bolted my door shut and sat in my room by myself in the quiet. This is going to sound crazy. It's not. I put barbecue sauce on the table because that's what helped the Mets get to the World Series in 2000. Sweet Baby Ray's. Great barbecue sauce. It's a superstitious thing. There are no lights on. And I watch, and I don't say a damn thing. I just panic. I panic for 3 hours. Like, I'm a goddamn wreck.
Do you love or hate Daniel Murphy?
Daniel Murphy's his outrageous comments and his homophobic ways drive me crazy. I think the Mets letting him go from a player perspective, it's like, God damn, man, not only did you let him walk, you let him walk for the Nationals.
Right, you let him walk to a division rival.
Any other team in the NL, or not in the NL East or the AL, is fine by me, and now he bats like 350?
Jason, sorry to interrupt. Numya Beeswax says, would you rather watch the Mayweather fight or watch the Mayweather fight on weed? I don't know, man. There's so much shit going on, and then there's John Wilkes Booth over at the Stars, and they're like, red team go, red team go.
Yo, I'm checking out the Stars later. Would you rather watch the Mayweather? I like somebody said, ask Rick more would you rathers. Okay, Rick. I'm gonna look up. Would you rather dirty? We're gonna find you one. 14 of the hardest would you rather sex questions.
I'm going to answer as many as I can, but I'm telling you, if it is beyond my level that I can go, I'm passing.
No, I want tough ones.
Hit me. I'm ready.
Would you rather have Cheeto dust on your fingers for the rest of your life? Never vanishes.
Oh boy.
Or have David Beckham's voice?
What kind of a fucking question is that? David Beckham's voice. I hate having things on my fingers. Like if I eat something, I would rather sound like this.
Right. Welcome back to TNT Sports, everybody.
Look,
it's so nice to
I'll
be
tell you
here.
why a voice doesn't matter, okay? Mike Tyson is the best example that I can give of someone that is so badass but has the highest pitched voice that you could ever have. So if he can get away with it, even if he's knocking fuckers out, like I can get away with having David Beckham's voice. Like I'm fine with that.
Oh, I want these to load the 17. That's easy. The Cheetos fingers is tough.
Come on,
you don't want that. You know, I'm trying to load
we need more questions.
Problem is it won't load. The 15 hardest would you rathers. That's such a now 15 is too round of a number. Like usually BuzzFeed's like 8 different places you need to visit before you die.
No, BuzzFeed's more
13
are you
different
more
foods.
Hassan or are you more Anna? And here's 96 examples of how you're more Hassan. Do you wear a lot of jewelry? And here's how you know if you're more Anna. You show up on time.
There's a BuzzFeed. Guys, leave your would you rathers in here. Would you rather drink James Harden's beard sweat or get punched by Jon Jones?
Oh, beard sweat by far. Come on.
That's
easy. Like I
don't know, man. I don't have a strong stomach. I'll take the punch.
I had serious surgery when I was 20 years old, so I'm definitely drinking beard sweat. Now, a better question would have been, would you rather drink Juan Manuel Marquez's pee prior to when he fought Floyd Mayweather because he thinks it's nutritional? Or would you rather drink James Harden's beard sweat?
Jesus Christ. Rick, would you rather have my face tattooed on your ass or my ass tattooed on your face?
Your face tattooed on my ass, without a doubt.
Yeah, by the way, my dad said I can get a tattoo that he'd pay for. He said the only tattoo I'm allowed to get that he'd pay for is a similar one that Steve-O has on his back, but of my dad.
If your dad's going to pay for it, just try to get a dick going from right to left on your face, and then the tip going up and you combing in your own eye.
I'd like it like almost like one of those teardrops that like gang members have.
Oh, yeah.
But it would be like a cum drop. That would be the difference.
I don't know where to go with that.
Did you read can I tell you one of my favorite tweets I came across? Trayvon Free, who's a former Daily Show writer, really funny. He has a tweet that goes, yes, he does. He goes, walks up to MS-13 gang member. Is there a Mr. 13? And then gets viciously, brutally murdered.
You didn't have to put the murder part in it. Like, it was already funny. That
was his tweet.
I understand. Just like I'm saying you didn't have to put the murder part in. I would have accepted like the Mr. part. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I did too. Did you find out today that no, I'm going to skip that one because I'm just going to look at this dog.
I'm not looking at the comments, so
I'm not looking at the comments either. I'm looking at Trayvon Free's. It's I'm going to start writing
the
script.
No one can see it, Dick. So why are you doing
I know. I'm just walking people through it. Is that all we got for UFC, by the way? Like I like this text from a friend. Is the fight over? The fight is over. You missed it. Just by a little bit. By like a little bit. Just missed it.
Wait, what time is it? It's 1:30 my time. It's probably been over for an hour and a half, I'd say.
Would you rather have oily hair or smelly breath? Oh, I'm going to take... would you rather have oily hair or smelly breath for the rest of your life?
I have oily hair, so
I'm going to take oily hair. Yeah, smelly breath, man. Not going to play well with the ladies if you have smelly breath for the rest of your life.
No, you could do yourself no service. You have to talk to people... You have to talk to people at a distance that Jon Jones should have had this fight with Daniel Cormier.
He has like a 10.5-inch reach advantage. What's it, 11? 12! That's a foot! That's a foot.
It was 82-70, I thought, or 84-72, something like that.
Yeah, because Jon Jones was built to be the next great wing in the NBA. He just happens to fight in the octagon instead.
Do you think he could have played wide receiver?
See, I don't know. I've actually never seen how fast he is. You know?
I haven't either.
I want to safely assume he's faster than me.
Right. Like, do you think LeBron could have played a wide receiver?
Tight end. You need him to block. He's too big.
He can't block. He can't block.
Blocked by James is like the commentary that went with on Andre Iguodala.
What?
That's the commentary. Oh my God! Blocked by James.
Bang! Bang!
Ooh. Would you rather have Curry's jumper or Russ's athleticism?
Curry's jumper. You get more points.
Here's an interesting one that somebody has asked me in the past.
Okay.
Would you suck a dick for Steph Curry's jump shot?
No.
Nobody knows you did it.
No. No.
I don't think I would either.
No. Again, that's one that I don't care to comment on, but I'm just going to give a hard no.
I'm going to go with no. How about no, Basil? How about no?
I want to say about a week ago, I gave Daniela the www.sh.com.org. She was like,
Scotty, don't you? He goes, they're in therapy, and he goes, I don't know. He's like, I don't want to be evil. Like, I want to go out and like run a petting zoo, an evil petting zoo. Do you see what I deal with? We're gonna bring out his mother now. And he just quickly goes,
so
evil petting zoo.
Can you believe Dr. Evil and Frau made Sweet Tender Love? That was really uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable, but those movies, still to this day, I can't not. If it's on, I cry. There's only a few movies that I've rewatched so many times and still cry laughing, and those are one of them.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Look, I don't care how nice of a man Ryan Gosling is. This is very important and has to be noted. Nobody ever, please forget that Ryan Gosling, enormous liability to the Titans on defense. And remember the Titans. He can't play defensive back. He doesn't deserve Rachel McAdams.
I was thinking, where are you going with this?
I forgot where I found this from, but still, it was like maybe a Reddit thread where they go like, I don't care. It was like basically like Ryan Gosling deserves an Academy Award, and someone goes, no, he doesn't. Goddamn garbage defensive back for the Titans.
He was
like,
garbage.
Wow, a good point. He was a liability.
I just learned tonight that he is married to Eva Mendes.
Good for Ryan Gosling.
Oh, so you're just learning it now.
Yeah, this is beautiful. She's like one of the she's one of the women who she's 43, like she's gotten better looking somehow.
She like if you had a mole Hall of Fame, she's got to be top 3.
He goes, don't say anything about this. Whoa! I want to poke it with a stick. Austin.
Guacamole.
She goes, it was nice to mole you. It was nice to meet your mole.
That's so fucking gross. I saw a comment that asked boneless wings or nuggets. It depends where both are from.
Wow. True. This is a true statement. I am a person who eats boneless wings. Wings on the bone, very, very messy. Well, that's kind of what makes them good. But I'm a boneless wing guy. I hope this doesn't change our relationship, Rick.
Wait. Say that again. You said...
So just donate $2 to us. Thank you. I don't know you can do that on YouTube. It says Chris.
We just got donated money.
It says Chris Prado, $2. Much love to the TYT crew. Yo, awesome. Unless that's like a.
Okay.
If you donated $2, man, thank you. That's awesome. And if you didn't, thank you for the love.
Okay, Chris Prado. If you did it, and you intended to do that, I would like you to message us your email address so we can get in touch and send you like a hat or something, because we're doing this more often. This is one of the first. I'm being very sincere. This is the second time that we've live streamed. We're trying to do this more and more. We're trying to gain traction, and we appreciate your donation. So please message us an email that you have. We'll take it from there, and we'll try to hook you up with something.
Absolutely. Unless, I mean, I know they can do it on Twitch streaming. People donate all the time, which is really cool. Not to us.
Didn't know that.
But in general, we're going to start doing Twitch streaming. I'll never ask for money. The people that go out of their way to do this, that's unbelievable. Thank you.
Right. Only Donald Trump will ask for money.
Fact. Somebody said Hillary or Trump. Let's go with
neither.
How about no?
How about me? I love it in Superbad when Jonah brings the alcohol and he's like, let's do another one to me.
He's just like one with little cinnamon flakes in it. Bring it in gasoline containers. No, it's laundry detergent. He dumps out laundry detergent.
Which is so
high school.
Disgusting. Like, first off, do you know how many times you have to rinse out that fucking thing? Like, I have the little cup that comes with the Febreze detergent, and I have to wash it out like 90 times for it to be clean. So I cannot imagine how many times you would have to do that. But nonetheless, fuck that movie for its inaccuracies. No,
literally unplayed. What's wrong with boneless wings? More chicken. Look, Philly 0024. I agree. More chicken.
Wait,
The Rock 2020. I'm down with The Rock 2020.
I'm not. But that's the problem with Trump now, is that he's opened the floodgates to like anybody running.
I know. Strom Rubin 2020.
No fucking chance.
By the way, like, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
No way in hell I would ever be president of the United States. That job sucks. It's a shitty job. It's not a fun job. It's actually I think it might be Dane Cook who says,
"Oh man, you better choose your words wisely here, my friend."
Because he goes and he says, like, even when Barack Obama got elected in 2008, he goes, like, even the most vile racist motherfucker is sitting with a shotgun on a porch going, I think we should give him a shot. This doesn't seem like a really fun job.
That's funny. Did you have the Dane Cook CD?
The first one.
Yeah, like,
sitting on the
how
coach.
do you do it? Is it like
the shock?
Yeah, isn't that what it was? The album cover?
Yeah, he was like, I thought Dane Cook had like one or two really good albums, and then his Super Bro routine got super old to me.
Yep.
It just never changed, and really good comedians come up with constantly new material and constantly bring you, like, we talk about this. We were talking about Rock and Chappelle, George Carlin. Like, they have a theme and a style, but they constantly bring you new ways to even just think about comedy and it being funny. Some get away with, like, voice stuff. Gilbert Gottfried does it well. Who's the guy who's like, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy? Ralphie May? Iglesias. No. Gabriel Iglesias. And he's like, I think he's like, his sound effects are hilarious because, like, he adds that element to it. But right. Dane Cook just kind of did the same thing. He was just like, he just was a super bro, and it was the same. Nick Swardson for a long time had some great stand-ups, and now I feel like he's doing the same thing.
Wait, who's Nick Swardson?
He's one of the Sandler guys. He was in Grandma's Boy. He was in. What was the best?
Oh, dude, he's hilarious.
Yes, I think he's very.
Yeah, I know who he is.
His more recent stuff in his interviews just didn't seem great. He has a great thing about girls getting drunk, about how his big bit from it was, he goes, it's funny because girls come up to me and they go, I can drink more than you. And he's like, that's funny because no, you fucking can't. There's a whole thing where he goes like, let's do shots. Let's do 5 shots. He goes, and then like after like the third one, then comes the spiral.
You know what's really fun? Is doing the strikeout and doing it a few times during a pregame.
College, I don't know if I can
anybody to do this. I'm just saying it's my preference at times. Do you know what the strikeout is? Yes.
Yeah, but I would do it with there's a point in my life where I really like tequila, so I do a strikeout with tequila, and that's very dangerous because
silver or gold.
Silver. Even though truthfully, like, the best tequilas are gold. Traditional tequila.
No, I'm just kidding.
I just think silver's just if you drink, first of all, like, tequila's the one alcohol to not cheap out on. I would say vodka's the other one. Like,
I can't drink vodka.
Don't drink bottom shelf vodka or tequila. It's just terrible.
Like Chach.
Yeah, because you can get away with, like, Wild Turkey. It's not gonna be the worst hangover ever.
Pretty terrible though.
Terrible, but not the worst hangover ever. If you're drinking Burnett's, which is like $6 vodka, Stalingrad, which is like a $7 vodka, you're drinking gasoline or you're drinking gasoline.
Gasoline
no,
or pee?
It's like gasoline mixed with pee.
Ah, understood. Why was the I still have pay-per-view on. Why was the Lawler-Cerrone fight only 3 rounds?
It wasn't a title fight.
I don't give a fuck. They should fight 12.
Oh, that was an interesting question I was thinking. Do you think they should make all UFC fights 5 rounds?
Yes.
No matter what?
No, not everybody. Like, if it's somebody who just worked their way up.
All main cards?
Yes. That answers my
all
question.
boxing fights, well, most are 12 rounds. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it be a little
like,
weird?
Think about it. In the day, like back in the day, it used to be 15.
They were 15
It's
rounds.
fucking insane. Like if that Ali
Here we
Frazier
are
fight.
at round 14. Both fighters can't lift their arms.
Well, there they go. They're swinging away. Hold your like you can't fight guys for like,
By the way,
45 minutes.
The one boxing movie I was watching recently was Cinderella Man. Could you imagine? Because there was no other way to listen to you have to listen to a fight being.
I've
You never seen it? It's not like a must see movie. It's good.
Okay.
It's a good movie. It's very Hollywood. It's very like lit dramatically. It's definitely the Hollywood. Like it makes you feel like these are the two most important fighters. But it's good. It's a good movie. But they have like the fight over the radio, and you're like, hold on, I could never. Because we grew up with this. Like, could you imagine listening to Jones Cormier on radio? No. Like, I got no other option. I'm in my car. I can't stream it like on my phone and drive.
You just sounded like Tyron Biggums. I had no other option.
Is this the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway, Joe Rogan? You said there'd be crack here. I love when he steps on the coals and he's like, this is nice. I'm just going to lay down right here. By the way, that was Joe Rogan. Look what Joe Rogan done with his career.
That was Joe Rogan.
Good job, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan killed it. Like,
him
Fear Factor's still around, and Ludacris is doing it. Did you know that?
Whoa.
What?
I got a lot of stuff to catch up on.
You don't. That's the funny thing.
They need to bring back Pimp My Ride with X to the Z exhibit. We know you like flamethrowers and fire, so we replaced your headlights with flamethrowers. I can't drive this thing anymore.
Wait.
Put a fish in your car. Do you ever read, there's a whole Reddit thread too about how like 5 years later every car like broke down, doesn't work.
I was Googling it right now. I Googled what really happened to the cars from Pimp My Ride.
Like, you like to work on your car, so we put a TV underneath your car. It's like, that's the most point. Doing an oil change and I'm trying to watch TV, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I love how Reddit is more trusted than like the FBI.
I think I love Reddit because I love how I like the fact that people have agreed. Like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about Reddit. Somebody once posted, it was the NBA trade deadline right around that time, and someone posted the NBA thread like, would you rather have LeBron or Michael? And there was like 3,000 comments like, oh, no, not now. We're not having this argument now. There are trades being reported. And they just take down your thread. You're like, oh, okay, you can't break the rules here, or you're like, there's an argument for censorship. Is there too much censorship and that kind of thing? But the Reddit community.
What? Is there too much censorship? What do you mean?
Point is like, should Reddit be able to censor or take down threads that are in violation of like a thread guideline?
It depends.
I think how Reddit enforces their community and the rules is fantastic because it does promote the most intelligent points. It doesn't promote racist hate speech. Like, unfortunately, if it wasn't for YouTube, I don't have a job. But YouTube does promote comments based on an interaction score that if they do better job now of filtering it out, but it is more cases than not that if you go into any comment section, you can find vile comments.
Completely.
You don't see that on Reddit. You just don't.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
LeVar needs this Chipotle guac upcharge. I can agree with that.
Say that again? What was the question?
LeVar Ball needs to diss the Chipotle guacamole upcharge.
Is it true that they have a queso now?
They're coming out with a queso, and the New York Times, I think, reported something about, like, this is also the millennials' fault. Just blame us for Chipotle queso,
You know
too.
what it is? The failing New York Times. They decided to go queso when really we should do ranch. All right.
Should do ranch. Comments is cancer. Yes, but not all of them. I've read some amazing comments.
Hang on. Let's go back a little bit. Jafer, this is an interesting perspective, or lack thereof. Would you rather live in a walled-up room with no view of the world, or live in a windowed room where you can see the world but can't exit the room?
I'm taking the...
It's blunt.
So, wait, the walled-up room you could leave?
I'll read it one more time. Would you rather live in a walled-up room with no view of the world, okay, or live in a windowed room where you can see the world but can't exit the room. Would you
With
rather
that-
live in a walled-up room with no view of the world? But the thing is, you could leave the room, right?
That's where we sent John Idarola. He's at the North Pole. We send him to a walled-up room where he can't see the world.
Dude, he's going to hang out with Hanukkah Harry so hard over there.
Yes, dude, he's got a great shop up there. I saw we were at Politicon today. A couple of us went to get a burger, including Jenk, and like I made the joke. I was like, I can't believe like you punished John by sending him to the North Pole, and he's like, I know, I'm real afraid. Like he's on like a sailboat. Like what did we do? It's like, oh my God, John's not coming back.
Can you imagine John windsurfing?
No, but John was a very good volleyball player in college.
He was a good volleyball
So he has
player.
some athleticism, and he does like sports, even though he doesn't. I don't believe him.
Right.
I do like when John tweets something about sports, like the Cubs won. And he's like, I guess the Cubs, he goes like, his tweet was like, Cubs win the World Series or something, sports. And I go, got him. Loves it. Just wait.
That's offensive.
But John also doesn't listen to music, which is a little
Which
weird.
is so weird.
It's just not normal.
Listen to Vic Mensa's album today at the gym.
Is that the autobiography?
The
I heard that's
autobiography.
good.
Must listen. And like, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but a
right,
friend
do me a
of
favor.
mine who works in entertainment
Got it.
was hanging out with Vic Mensa.
Very cool.
And I was so fucking jealous. All right, Kevin says, Jason and Rick, what was the best moment watching your favorite sports team? The Cubs winning the World Series by far.
Yeah.
This is super easy for me. What was yours?
Well, I have 2 championships because of the New York Giants when they beat the Patriots. When it wasn't the helmet. It wasn't the helmet catch. That was remarkable, but it wasn't that catch. It was the realization when the ball was in the air to Plaxico Burress and nobody was on him, and you go, "Oh my God, we can win this game."
How? Who was
How
covering him? Was that Ty Law?
Blown coverage, and
It was
you just
total
look at it and
blown
you go, and it was just like, I'm like, oh my God, Eli made the perfect pass at the perfect moment, and you just saw it, and you saw it happen, and you go like, oh my God, we could win. We could win. Because you remember the first quarter of the game was pretty good.
What was the...
And then nothing happened in the second and third
spread?
quarter. The Patriots were 10.5-point favorites.
Yeah, okay.
Patriots favorites over
I was going
Giants.
to say 7 and a hook.
So if you remember that game, the Giants and the Patriots was a little bit back and forth in the first quarter. I think it was like 7-3, maybe 10-3.
Right.
And then there was no scoring for the second and third quarter, and then the fourth quarter you had some back and forth. So it was actually a pretty boring Super Bowl until
That wasn't a busted coverage. It was just a mismatch. Who's 27 on the Patriots? I thought that was Ty Law.
Ty Law. I remember Ty Law returning an interception.
What year was that? Patriots Giants Super Bowl?
I'm just gonna play it. Could they hear the sound?
No. Oh,
39 seconds.
Try. Let's see.
No. Let's see. 39. It's in my
explain.
headphones. And Joe Buck with the most standard coverage ever. Manning. This was his coverage. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown. Can we speak one word at a time? Do you know what one of the most rude moments in TV history, but those who don't like Joe Buck relish in it?
Hit me.
You ever seen the Joe Buck show?
No.
3 episodes on HBO. He had Artie Lang on with Paul Rudd, of all people, and
Not
Joe
a huge
Buck.
fan of Artie Lang. Just let
He's
you
a
know off the
giant
bat.
dick. But people who don't like Joe Buck, it's the greatest video you'll ever see because
Okay.
Artie Lang goes on the show as a giant fan of, was it John Buck or Jack Buck was a broadcaster? Joe Buck's dad
Jack
broadcasted
Buck.
the Cardinals. Loved Jack Buck. Loved him.
It was Ellis Hobbs who was playing against Plaxico. FYI.
Ellis
Okay.
Hobbs.
Yeah, I just looked at it.
So he goes on the show and he just doesn't like Joe Buck. And he just smokes a cigarette on the show.
Wait, who was this?
Artie Lang.
Artie Lang.
And he was there. He says he doesn't like Joe Buck. He couldn't stand him, but he was there because he loved his father, Jack Buck, and just told all these stories of Jack Buck while just constantly crapping on Joe Buck on his own show. He even says, he's like, this show ain't.
I'm cool with that.
If you don't like Joe Buck, you'll like it. But if you don't like Artie Lang, you might not either. Artie Lang, believe it or not, a Howard Stern show
Yeah.
years ago. They used to have Cupcake Tuesday, I believe it was, where they have like a 4,000 calorie cupcake that Artie Lang had to eat.
Oh, terrible.
Just the weirdest.
Terrible. Okay,
What's
here's an interesting would you rather.
Your teams?
Wait, say again?
What was your most heartbreaking moment watching your favorite teams? This guy says his was Derrick Rose's injury and the realization that Jay Cutler's not a franchise quarterback. As a Chicagoan, Rick, I feel like you can answer to this.
So the lowest...
Most heartbreaking.
Yeah, Derrick Rose is definitely up there. The Kings beating the Blackhawks to go to the Cup was really rough. With Alec Martinez not only scoring the clinching goal, but then also winning the Stanley Cup. That dude just had lady pyramids left and right in Los Angeles. Talk about an off season. So that was probably it.
Carlos Beltran leaving the bat on his shoulder to Adam Wainwright when he was the closer for the Cardinals. Absolutely filthy pitch. But you swing, you goddamn piece of garbage.
You know, I take it back. The 2003 playoffs with the Cubs, with the Bartman game and shit, that was heartbreaking.
Jeez.
I cried. I remember that.
Yeah,
no
you
shit, I cried.
Bartman.
Wow. Wait, there was
seeing the Indians losing Game 7 is pretty tough. If you're a Cleveland Indians baseball fan,
rough.
that's a tough side of that one. But you had a championship. It's fine. It's Cleveland. I mean,
Nunny, I gotta read this to you. Nunny says, Adam Sandler singing to you forever, or Eddie Murphy singing to you forever.
Piece of shit car. I've got a piece of shit car. It's the Adam Sandler piece of shit car song. I'm taking Adam Sandler. Are you kidding? I love the Hanukkah song.
Totally taking Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I feel like that was easy. The most underrated character that he ever had was Opera Man. Do you remember Opera Man? From SNL.
No, I don't. I gotta watch it then.
Pull it up.
Opera Man.
Adam Sandler's Opera Man was so fucking good. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. You see it?
Yeah. He's actually nailing the Eddie Vedder like grunge growl though.
Totally nailed it.
I don't think I'm cool with it. Jason, you're much cooler than Rick. Not true. Not true. Just a little bit.
It's completely true. I'm like the least.
Michigan losing against Ohio State last year. I mean, that can't be your most heartbreaking.
Someone said Keenan Allen. Dude, Keenan Allen's like so new school.
Keenan Allen,
like breaking.
Ooh, there was a great Twitter question somebody threw out there recently saying, name somebody that kids like 5 years younger than you would have no idea about and their greatness. Like I remember Michael Jordan's last 2 championships.
How old are you?
When I first got into basketball, I was like 6 and 7 years old. So
how old are
it's
you?
like when I first got it, I'm 25. So born in 91, which means like if, I have no recollection of the Giants Super Bowl in 91. I have no recollection of Lawrence Taylor. I have no recollection of Magic versus Bird. And that's huge. I never watched it. It never happened in front of me.
Okay, someone's great.
I remember Tony Gwynn batting like 370.
It's different for us because we're like degenerate sports fans. So anyone I throw at you, you're probably gonna know.
3 years older than me? 2 years older than me?
Me?
Born in 89, 88? 80s, baby.
So like Brandon Webb?
I do remember a little.
Okay, Brandon Webb's sinker was devastating.
Yeah. The Rock's WWE career.
Kelly Pavlik. Oh, there we go. Kelly Pavlik.
Here's one that...
Real quick. Watch the fight. Kelly Pavlik against Jermaine Taylor. It's one of the best boxing matches I've ever seen. You should absolutely watch it.
Someone threw to me recently, and I'm not even a hockey guy, but one of the hockey moments that I do remember was off the floor on the board, Paul Correa, after he got knocked the fuck out and came back to score, because that's hockey players. You can be dead on the ice, and they'll be like, no, we revived him. He's playing. He'll be out there for the third period.
I was at a game. I was at a playoff game. I think it was a Stanley Cup final, actually, against the Flyers, where Duncan Keith got his entire front 5 teeth knocked out and still came back and they won that game 2-1.
You want to make a spectacle of a fight for someone to fight Floyd Mayweather? Just give me any hockey defenseman.
Wait, what do you mean?
Any hockey defenseman to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. There's nothing that Floyd Mayweather could do where he'd be tired or hurt. Like, you get knocked down 16 times, you get knocked down, and every time with like 8 seconds, at 8 seconds, he'd just be up. He'd be like, yeah, I'm good, let's go.
Right, their theme would be Chumbawamba.
Right. Yeah. Chumbawamba. I don't think anybody 5 years younger than me knows Chumbawamba.
Probably not. One-hit wonder. Name a better one-hit wonder.
Smash Mouth have a one-hit wonder?
Pretty Ricky. Grind on Me.
The Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you fucking nailed that one.
One-hit wonder? What's the Super Freak?
Mambo number 5.
Oh, love Lou Bega.
Theme to my bar mitzvah.
No, he didn't.
No, theme.
Oh.
He was like, we probably played it twice, which is just
that's
abnormal.
I can tell you I'm just terrified that my sisters will find the DVD of my bar mitzvah and just unleash it on the world or something.
Uh-huh.
It's just the most awkward time for anybody to have.
I want to see yours.
I want to say because here's the funniest thing with it, like, it's the most awkward time for anybody to have. Like, the bar mitzvah should happen older or a little bit younger, so it's just
like
much
16.
less. Yeah, it's just too.
It's
basically a place for like your parents' friends to get drunk, like, and eat good food. It's not about you.
I saw my first pair of boobs.
Oh, nice.
It was actually a bat mitzvah. It wasn't hers, but it was a bat mitzvah.
Thank God it wasn't hers. That would be the worst bat mitzvah tape for them to have.
I'm not gonna say the name, but like she was weirdly just like
Shelby Goldberg.
Shelby Goldberg. There's no girl's named Shelby.
Bianca Edelman. There's tons of them.
Hottest Bianca I ever saw was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
The hottest Bianca I ever saw was a girl named Bianca at my high school.
What's she doing now?
She's actually she's trying to do a singing career in New York. She's actually doing pretty well. She's trying.
How's that girlfriend of yours? Oh, she got hit by a car. She's dead. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore reference. Calm down. Would you rather see the Mets win or the Knicks win?
Mets by a mile.
The Mets by a mile?
Yeah, it's a mile. Because, yeah, I love the Mets. I love baseball. I want it so bad. And by the way, it's not like I've even tasted the Knicks. The Spurs was like in 1999. It wasn't even close then. Jordan terrorized us. Reggie Miller terrorized us, and we haven't been good since then.
Right. Who's your favorite Knick of all time?
John Starks.
Idiot. Who's your favorite Met of all time?
You're gonna love this. Ray Ordonez, shortstop, late 90s, early 2000s.
Gross.
Couldn't hit for shit, but man, was he a nasty fielder.
Yucky.
Some people are like, why
can't? Do you
can't
have an Ordonez jersey?
No. They don't sell those, Rick.
Custom made.
I like that. Like my cousin that I used to go to games with has an Edgardo Alfonso jersey.
Also solid. Dude, I have a Mark Pryor jersey.
Mark Pryor was great.
For like 3 years.
I know. He was like every Mets pitcher.
Okay, we have 2 more minutes and then I'm going to bed.
I want to go to bed. I'm tired.
It's
Mark Pryor, 18 and 03, 2.43 ERA.
Right.
Jesus.
Let's read these comments super quick and then let's go to bed. Odell's catch or the helmet catch?
Well, the helmet catch ended up with a Super Bowl. Nothing against.
All right, I agree. Triple G Canelo. Oh,
G.
Do you really?
G.
Remember the shot thing that we have going on?
Is that a Raptors hat? That's pretty cool.
It is a Raptors hat.
Yeah, people the Raptors.
How's it look?
It looks good.
It looks fucking bent as fuck.
I bend my hats too. I always bend my.
Okay, I'm betting you a shot on that fight.
That's fine. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just happy it's happening.
What's the Leicester of this season for any sport? Can't be in basketball, so you got to think NFL.
What's the what? The Leicester?
Yeah, like a Leicester City story.
The Tennessee Titans.
No.
Or the Tennessee Titans have a top 8 offensive line, and Mariota going into his 3rd year, and I do think he has a chance at breaking out.
The Titans are going to be horrible, dude.
I don't think
they're not going to. Okay, horrible is an overstatement. They're not going to be as good as you think in
I
being
also,
a Leicester.
I also think that his partner in the draft class, I think that the Bucks have a shot.
Whose front teeth are better, Aaron Judge's or Michael Strahan's?
I mean, Michael Strahan, Judge could also brand his.
Off of that.
But Michael Strahan, he never fixed them because it's his brand now. He made a brand of his teeth.
He did.
Come on. That's something. It's not like you don't got the money. Chargers 13-3. No one will care. It's in L.A.
Most underrated NBA team ever. The fact that the Orlando Magic made the NBA Finals.
It's a very good answer, Dwight Howard, in that year. The most underrated NBA team ever?
That was by Nunny Beeswax.
I don't think... No, because the Pistons were not underrated. But the Chauncey duo Wallace's, that Lakers team was, I thought, unstoppable.
Wait, say again?
Especially after they signed Peyton and Malone. Just kind of seemed like Shaq was... do you remember clearly, how dominant Shaq was that nobody had an answer? The Pistons did.
Yeah.
Grind them out. Rasheed and Ben Wallace were so
dominant
fun.
Factor that it was like...
Why is Kobe so hated? Kobe is hated because he's a winner. That's why he's hated.
There's a lot more to it. Back to your point about Shaq. Shaq was so dominant that it was like seeing Mike Tyson in his prime.
Yes. I think people sleep on it today still when they go and just the word dominance. You don't think Steph Curry's dominant.
Right.
You think Shaq is.
It's a different form.
It's a different form, but when dominant doesn't seem like the right word to describe Steph Curry's greatness.
Well, because we think of dominant as this machismo factor of being literally, as Shaq was, 7 feet tall. When we think dominant, we think of someone standing over someone and overpowering them. We view dominant as powerful, when really dominant can come in other forms than just being really big and having huge biceps.
Right. I agree.
What's your go-to baseball snack? Peanuts.
I'm a straight...
Don't you fucking dare say Cracker Jacks.
No, I was going to say I'm a straight hot dog guy.
Yeah, you like a wiener.
A
Canelo over GGG is what Seb said. I saw your thoughts on the Raptors. There's nothing to say. The Raptors are
Careful.
The Raptors are the bridesmaids.
Careful. The YouTube, our specific... No, but I'm saying our specific YouTube audience, we have, 343,000 subscribers? Every single one of them is a Raptors fan.
Yeah, I'm being honest.
I am too.
The Raptors are the bridesmaids of the LeBron era. Same with Boston. They're about to be. Unless he goes to the West, then maybe they'll get to the finals. But
then we have to dissolve the East. Just dissolve them. Take all the best players and put them on the new Supersonics. No more East.
Are they going to go back to Seattle?
A couple of years. The plan right now is they're renovating. They're actually going to put a lot of work into Key Arena, finally. Okay. They're going to get a hockey team, it sounds like, first, which I think is a great place for a hockey team.
Seattle, is it?
And it seems like the hockey team comes first and the basketball team will come in 3 or 4 years. The thing with expanding, the NHL is more open to expanding than other leagues because they don't make the money that the NFL and the NBA do. The NBA owners and the NFL owners are they have such a grasp on their money, and they care so much the idea of if there's not 30 owners because there's ownership groups. There's more a total of 58 owners across the 30 teams. But to make life easier, if there's 30 teams and 30 owners, they don't want to give up 1/30th of their pie to make it 1/31st or 1/32nd. They see that as, wow, all this money coming in, we lose a couple $1 million. It's just a bad investment for us.
Right.
So they have to be sold on the idea that not only is your team going to come in, but they're going to make enough money that 1/31st of the pie becomes more in 10 years than 1/30th of the pie becomes in 10 years.
Final word. And you did a clip on this.
Good night.
Brooklyn Nets. Can D'Angelo Russell lead the Nets to the playoffs?
I did. We did a clip on the. I think they can be a sleeper 8 seed. I don't think the East is that good. I think D'Angelo Russell gets the permanent green light. I think D'Angelo Russell finishes in the top 10 in scoring because top 10 in scoring, 10th is about 23 points per game, 24 on some seasons. I think D'Angelo Russell can do that. I think Alan Crabb, who was was in the top 3 in catch and shoot 3 percentage. D'Angelo's an on the ball guy. All you got to do is hit him on the run, a la Alan Crabb style. Granted, him not having Lillard or McCollum to suck some of the focus away will have its effect.
Right.
And Timofey Mozgov.
Timofey.
Permanent defense like this. LeBron said if you bend your elbows, you're cut during the finals in 2015.
2015.
One of the worst contract. I don't think they're going to, but I'll give them an 8 seed if they can. If they can,
right,
it would be
the East is so shitty.
No, they're not going to be like the 4. D'Angelo Russell's not going to average 35-10 next year.
No, he'll probably average like 24 and 7.
Yep.
Because he's not surrounded by the best players.
Oh, I do realize that the Nets could be better than the Knicks. I do realize that that's a potential.
Oh man, as of right now, if they don't get Kyrie.
Yeah, we got Melo and Zingis and
if no trades are made, so you're taking D'Angelo. Who's the white guy 3-point shooter on the Nets? He's European. Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
Oh,
the Nets
man,
also post no stats all-star and healthy Rondé Hollis Jefferson. He was like a Shane Battier type who his plus minus was always
his
positive.
Ceiling is so much higher than Shane Battier though.
Hey. You ever read who wrote The Big Short? Michael Lewis. Yes, Michael Lewis wrote an op-ed for the New York Times called
He wrote
Moneyball. He wrote a column called the No Stats All Star. It's all about how Shane Battier should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's one of like 3 players in NBA history. I don't either, but he's one. The interesting point was he's one of 3 players in NBA history where I don't think he has the least amount of games when he was on the floor that the team was negative in NBA's history, I believe. That's impressive.
That's also like buying into the plus minus and other sports. He's not hockey.
He's the greatest off-ball screen setter, defensive enough to make a difference, pickup ball player to have on your team. You want every pickup team needs Shane Battier. Also a good Duke player, no?
He was a good Duke player. He got away with fucking murder in that Final Four. Lastly, favorite Duke player of all time. Oh shit.
Kyrie Irving.
Did the live stream just end?
No, live stream health is good.
Oh, okay, great.
The health is better than our health.
Here's what we're gonna end with.
Kyrie for Duke.
Favorite Duke player of all time.
Kyrie.
Trajan Langdon.
That's a really good answer.
Thank you. All right.
JJ Redick. I don't like Duke, but JJ Redick giving the shocker to the UNC fans after hitting a 3, funny.
But also Virginia Tech fans, when Greg Paulus was at the line chanting "Teabag Paulus" was also phenomenal.
Also good. Yeah. Richard, good night.
Jason, all right, real quick.
I got 9%.
To everybody watching.
Yes.
We seriously appreciate you. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is going to become more and more, not necessarily of a theme, but a recurring form of content, probably 2 times a week at least. And we appreciate your love. We appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll keep the content coming.
I'm just going to read you this last thing. Rick said, "Are we doing a live stream?" And I go, "Yes, we can do it, Manana, if you prefer." And you said, "I can do it now." I said, "Word, a short one. Doesn't need to be 90 minutes. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes."
Oh, whatever, it works.
Like we were going to get on and talk about anything for can you imagine doing it in 8 minutes? No, not possible.
No, it's not possible. Unless you're like Vaynerchuk, you can't do it in 8 minutes.
Not possible. All right, good night all. We'll see you on either Monday or tomorrow, or we'll be around.
Yeah, whatever, we'll be around. We love you guys.
See you guys.
See ya.